I'm sure by now you know or have at least heard about these new first generation Dodge Charger EVs that no one, not even diehard Dodge fans like myself, seem to like. Since this car is literally the complete opposite of what the brand stood for so many years, with this car being a fully electric EV coupe that literally generates fake exhaust noises. As opposed to the previous generation Dodge Chargers that were equipped with iconic engines such as the 6.2 liter supercharged Hellcat and Red Eye engine, just screaming while you're doing a burnout, that were the true definition of an American muscle car. And it seems like with the new leadership changes in Stellantis, with the removal of the previous CEO named Carlos Tavares, who's really been the person to blame for this massive shift in Dodge, we might just have a chance of seeing another V8 powered Dodge Charger soon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this video. Dodge announced last year on March 5th that they will be releasing a 2-door and a 4-door variant of these EV Dodge Chargers that will come available in 2 separate trims, with the slower trim being called the Dodge RT, now producing 496 horsepower and 404 pound-feet of torque, allowing this 5,000 pound car to do the 0 to 60 mile per hour in 4.7 seconds and the quarter mile in 12.6 seconds. While the higher trim called the Dodge Charger Scat Pack will now produce 670 horsepower and 627 pound-feet of torque, allowing for a 0 to 60 time of just 3.3 seconds and a quarter mile time of 11.5 seconds. And get this, you also receive a button on your steering wheel called a Power Shot that literally works like NOS does, giving you a boost of 40 horsepower for an extra 10 seconds. And even with that Power Shot included, the Dodge Charger and Challenger Red Eyes were still faster than these new EV Scat Packs. Initially, Dodge was planning on releasing the 2-door variant in 2024, but due to all those leadership changes we discussed earlier and the absolute dumpster fire that is Stellantis nowadays, we did not see this car being sent to dealerships up until a few days ago in January of 2025. And the 4-door version is still yet to come out with no specific release date. Now there's one more trim available on these brand new Dodge Chargers that I have not discussed with you yet, and that trim is the Dodge Charger 6-pack that is equipped with a twin turbo inline-6 engine called the Hurricane, producing either 420 horsepower or 550 horsepower depending on the trim that you do choose, with the 550 horsepower trim rumored to have a 0 to 60 time of around 3.5 seconds and a quarter mile in the low 12 seconds. And I have to say, it's definitely no V8 Hemi, but at least we still have a gas powered Dodge Charger trim available. And with the abysmal sales on those EV Dodge Chargers, Dodge is really trying to get this trim out as soon as they can, with the release date being rumored around June of 2025. Now this trim within itself is good and bad news in my opinion, with the good news being that at least not all of the new Dodge Chargers are electric and we at least have some sort of a gas powered car. And if you're going from a current generation Dodge Charger RT or a Scat Pack to even one of these EV RTs, you should definitely see a boost in horsepower and your performance numbers go. But the bad news is that it seems like Dodge's new CEO wants to gear more towards another twin turbo inline-6 engine of some sort that produces even more horsepower to try and satisfy the fans instead of giving us what we actually want, which is just another V8 engine Dodge Charger or Challenger. Now, do I personally think will there ever be another V8 powered Dodge Charger? Yes. But do I think that'll happen while Stellantis is in control of Dodge? No. And I only say that because I don't think Stellantis is prioritizing putting a V8 engine back in these cars, because if they did, they would just fight harder to keep the already iconic Hellcats and Red Eyes. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more content like this. And also let me know if you would buy one of these new Dodge Charger EVs.